The story of giants in the Bible is far more than a collection of strange encounters or legendary warriors. It is a thread woven through Scripture from Genesis to Revelation, revealing a deeper conflict between God's purposes and the forces that oppose him. When the Bible speaks of giants, whether the Nephilim before the flood, the Anakim in Canaan, or the Rephaim scattered across ancient territories, it is not simply describing unusually tall people. It is unveiling a spiritual strategy, a deliberate attempt by the enemy to corrupt, intimidate, and hinder the unfolding plan of God. The first appearance of giants in Genesis 6 sets the stage. In the days before the flood, the world became a battleground of spiritual rebellion. The result was a generation of beings described as mighty men and men of renown, whose presence contributed to a world so corrupted that God declared it beyond repair. Yet even after the flood, giant clans re-emerged: Anakim, Emim, Zamzummim, and others, occupying the very lands God promised to Abraham. Their placement was not accidental. They stood as physical and psychological barriers, designed to provoke fear and prevent God's people from stepping into their inheritance. Throughout Israel's history, giants appear at key moments of transition. They rise where God's promises are about to advance. They challenge Israel's faith, test their courage, and attempt to derail the covenant line that would ultimately lead to Jesus Christ. From the towering figure of Goliath to the fortified cities of Canaan, giants represent more than flesh and blood enemies. They symbolize opposition to God's kingdom, both in the natural and the spiritual realm. Understanding biblical giants is not about chasing myths. It is about recognizing the pattern of resistance that has always stood against God's purposes. Their story reveals a timeless truth. Whenever God moves his people forward, the enemy raises obstacles meant to intimidate, distract, or destroy. And yet, in every case, giants fall when God's people stand in faith. The Nephilim, Genesis 6. The first giants appear in Genesis 6 verse 4. They are called Nephilim, a Hebrew word meaning fallen ones, or those who cause others to fall. They appear after the sons of God took wives from the daughters of men. Post-flood giants. Even after the flood, giants reappear. Anakim, Numbers 13:33. Rephaim, Deuteronomy 2:3. Og of Bashan, Deuteronomy 3:11. Goliath and his brothers, 1 Samuel 17. 2 Samuel 21. Why are they here? This is the heart of the story. To corrupt humanity, Genesis 6 shows a world filled with violence and spiritual rebellion. The giants represent a hybrid corruption, a blending of realms that God never intended. To prevent the Messiah. Throughout the Old Testament, giants appear strategically. In Canaan before Israel arrives. In the land God promised to Abraham. In territories Israel must conquer to survive. In battles tied to David's kingship, the Messianic line. The pattern is clear. Giants show up wherever the enemy wants to block the bloodline that leads to Jesus. Giants always occupy land God promised to his people. They want to hold ground that belongs to God.